This is serious. Another tower block goes up in flames. This is really serious for landlords because fire safety in our properties is our responsibility. So you as a landlord have looked at the headlines recently, just like I have, and we all remember Grenfell. Now, just to remind you, in Grenfell, those poor people were trapped in a tower block and 70 people died, okay? Now, I'm not trying to create headlines here, but I am going to say to you that as a landlord, how would you sleep at night if you knew that people in your buildings could not escape in the event of a fire? So not only do we have requirements legally on us as landlords to fix these problems. Now, the really scary thing about the latest fire in London is some of those people, those ordinary mums, dads, grandmas, granddads, were coming out of that building and saying that the fire alarm was not working. What? The fire alarm was not working? How can this even be a thing in 2024, right? So let me remind you of our responsibilities, because I am a landlord and these are my responsibilities. Now, we have responsibilities for smoke alarms in all properties. That's the first thing I'm going to say. So in every single property you own, you are responsible for making sure there is a working smoke alarm. You are responsible for making sure your tenants can sleep safely at night. Okay, so what I've done in mine is put interlinked smoke alarms in all of my properties. That's the first thing. The second thing, right, is that if you own a block or you own a HMO or you own serviced accommodation, right, you need to be thinking about the fire risk for the people in those buildings. Now, there are legal requirements on blocks and HMOs. I'm going to talk about blocks because that's my speciality. All right, in apartment blocks, whether it's a block of 2 apartments, whether it's a block of 10 apartments, right, we have responsibilities to make sure that our tenants can get out in the event of a fire. So the first thing we should have is interlinked smoke alarms. And the thing is, you should be having annual fire safety risk assessments done by a professional person who comes in and tells you exactly what you need to do to keep your property safe. So that is the first thing. So if you are a landlord, that is your responsibility to get those people in once a year and make sure they do a proper fire safety risk assessment, okay? The second thing is that smoke alarms have to be tested every 6 months, and you should have interlinked smoke alarms, okay? Now, what I am going to say to you is if you were trying to cut corners and cut costs by doing this yourself, right, I'm going to say stop it. Get somebody in who pay them to do it. I'm not selling fire risk safety assessments here, but you as a landlord are responsible, because at the end of the day, there's a consequence to our tenants if we don't take that responsibility. And that's the one that I take most seriously. That if one of my tenants died because I hadn't done my job as a landlord, I wouldn't be able to live with it. But there is a bigger consequence to you. You are going to prison if you do not look after your properties, look after your tenants and make sure they are safe. And that includes things like electrical safety requirements. So you as a landlord are responsible. Please take this seriously. I hope that you go and find more information, but I am going to tell you now, make sure you're having those risk assessments and make sure your property has interlinked fire alarms and smoke alarms in blocks of apartments. Thank you.